Hey guys, it's a German word here, and I'm going to show you how to just walk right through the challenge tier 3 of the Forest Moon event. I'm using minimum requirements for Sith Eternal, Relic 3 General Veers, and Relic 5 Admiral Piet, and then Gear 12 Moff Gideon, Gear 12 Imperial Super Commando, and Gear 12 Gar Saxon. And as you can see by my stats and mods here, I don't have anything too crazy. It's just my standard Grand Arena setup. I didn't do any sort of remodding. Piet's the best one here, and it's still just sort of decent mods. But I could have absolutely thrown on mods like from Galactic Legends and made this a lot easier, but it's super, super easy. There's only a little bit of RNG right at the beginning. But if the Ewok just happens to basic attack Imperial Super Commando, it just gets that turn meter train going, and then you just are scot-free pretty much. Now, we're going to be skipping through a lot of this event since most of it is just auto basic. After you get the mark on Imperial Super Commando at the beginning of each round, you'll just auto basic through and then take off the auto basic at the end of the round. That way you ensure that when you get to Admiral Piet's team at the beginning of the next round, that you don't miss that, like with him accidentally marking someone else or something like that. But as you can see, the damage immunity is preventing counterattacks, but that damage immunity is what makes this event even possible, because when you get to the Tebow section, which we'll see in a minute, they just can't do anything. They keep attacking Imperial Super Commando, Tebow does, and they just don't do anything. So you just, quite literally, this is just a walk in the park because of the Imperial Super Commando rework with Gar Saxon. It's absolutely nutty. Now, in the meantime, while we're going to basically skip through this event here on Auto Basic, let me know what kind of content you guys want to see. Are you having any troubles with any other events, any other raids? What's going on? Do you need tips in Grand Arena, roster reviews, whatever it may be? Leave a comment down below. Make sure to subscribe. That way you don't miss any content in the future. Hit that little bell. That way you can't miss it. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, you just auto basic through this event. And we're going to skip through most of it until the Tebow section here in a second, because that does require a little bit of strategy. At least I apply a little bit of strategy to it. But yeah, this event is made super easy with Gar Saxon Imperial Super Commando. So let's go ahead and get to that Tebow section. And as you can see, you've got so much turn meter loaded from Ewoks dying in the previous round that you pretty much guarantee that Piet is going to go before Tebow, and then you just mark Imperial Super Commando. He gets damage immunity, can't die, and then that damage immunity will last the entirety of the event, just because the true damage from Gar Saxon and Imperial Super Commando does so much damage. Now, at the end, or toward the end of the Tebow section, you'll see that Imperial Super Commando is about to take his second turn and get rid of that damage immunity, and this is why I have Moff Gideon, is he'll pull back that turn meter and prevent that damage immunity from coming off. So it pretty well guarantees the victory even more. Now, what I try to do is apply as many armor shreds on Tebow as possible. That way it makes it easier once you get to Tebow, once you get through these elders and all these revives. All those armor shreds just make it a little bit easier. That way you can get through the event a little bit quicker. Otherwise, it does take quite a while. I don't auto basic on this or anything. I think it risks Imperial Super Commando taking too many turns and then getting rid of that damage immunity, and you could drop the event there. So I try to manual through this section, auto basic through all the other sections. You may even be able to auto basic through the last section as well, but I'm not sure. I haven't tried that. Now, there's not really much more to comment on in this section, so I'll pretty much just be silent for the rest of this Tebow section, but, I mean, just as you can tell, you don't really have to do much, and you don't need high relics. Like I was saying, it's just minimum requirements for Sith Eternal, and then just some Gear 12s that I've been building up. Just over time. I only started gearing up Garsaxon and Imperial Super Commando after the rework, and even at Gear 12, they're showing that they're incredibly useful. So I would absolutely advise taking them at least to Gear 12. So you can do this challenge tier 3. I've been able to do a lot of galactic challenges with them as well, and they can punch way above their weight in Grand Arena. So they're super useful, even just at Gear 12. But after I'm done with Leviathan and Ray, then I'll be taking them to Relics as well, um, alongside the rest of my Imperial Troopers to finish up the Rebel Roundup Tier 3. And we're about to start finishing up this section here, wrapping up these Ewok Elders, and then moving over to Tebow. And there we go. So now we're moving on to the next section, which again we'll mostly skip through. Once we get that mark on Imperial Super Commando, I just switch it over to Auto Basic and go through the whole thing because the Ewoks pretty much just get themselves machine gunned from hitting Imperial Super Commando. So super easy, couple rounds here until the end. And then the end, I do it manually myself. I want to make sure that I take out the Ewoks in the right order. You have to take out Ewok Elder first. We'll get there in a second, though. And then switch it over to Auto Basic, and then they just machine gun themselves to death. And then we'll just go ahead and Auto Basic once that mark is on and get through this tier and onto the last one. And now you need to take out the Elder first, because if you take out the Elder after any of the other Ewoks, he'll revive everyone else. It makes this a lot more difficult. So take out Ewok Elder first, and then I personally take out Wicket, because I think he's the most annoying. Logray is pretty annoying as well with that Daze, but he wasn't an issue because the ability block landed. So unfortunately I'm stuck behind this Paplu for a second until I get to Piet here. But then we're able to move back over to Ewok Elder, and then Wicket and take care of the rest of these Ewoks. But yeah, this is pretty much just the end of the event here. It does take, like 10 or so minutes, I think is what it took in real time without cutting out all the auto basics. So that's about what you're looking at if you're running Gear 12 and minimum Sith Eternal requirements. But if you've got anything better than what I've got, this will go a lot quicker. But, again, let me know what kind of content you guys want to see. If there's anything you're interested in, or if you have any questions, looking for a guild, let me know down below. But this is the end of the video. It's just going to play the rest of the footage here. So, yeah, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.